What is up, everyone? I am back with a SmartArt box. Yes, this is a SmartArt box. You may not believe it, but it is. I'm not sure why the box came this way without all the pretty packaging that it usually has. It just came in a regular, like, purple delivery bag sort of thing. I think SmartArt is updating their packaging a little bit, hence why mine ended up looking like this, because I'm pretty sure I got mine a little bit earlier than everyone else. This has been sitting here on my desk for 4 or 5 days now, probably closer to a week. And it's about time that I get to opening it, seeing what's in here, making some art with it, and having some fun. And hello there, I think Theoden is coming to check out the box as well. Theoden? Are you here to see what's happening too? Alright, let us see what's in here. Oh, okay. For some reason I thought there was going to be a box within another box, but I guess there's not. I guess it's just all packaged in here for now. I like that we still have the same wrapping paper. Let's see, what is all in here? It feels different. This feels like a different material than what it's usually made of. Oh wow, there's a bunch of nice looking stuff in here. What is all in here? There is a lot of stuff. Ooh, okay, Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens. Looks like most of these are Fineliners. There's a couple brush tips it looks like. There looks like there's a highlighter of some kind, and then we have a blue and a black fine liner. Those look pretty. Ooh, more Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens. I am extremely lucky. These happen to be one of my favorite fine liners ever. These look really pretty too. Are they all brush tip? Okay, these two are fine tip. 2 fine liners, 2 brush tips. Looks like I'm gonna be doing some illustration or something. I hope it's not like calligraphy. There's some Smarties in here. Look at that, they were hiding. Ooh, ink. I love watercolor ink. This is graphics watercolor ink, and it looks like it's red. Oh, it's black. Okay. We have some black watercolor ink here. Then we have ink cartridges for Speedball. Wait a minute, I think I know this brand. Wait a minute, what's in here? This is really fancy. Oh geez. Ooh, it has engraving on it and everything. That is really fancy. Would you take a look at that? Wow, this is nice. Ooh. Oh wow. Oh, this is a fancy pen. Look at that clip. This is snazzy. That's really fancy. It's a dip pen and it has a rainbow tip. Look at that. It's a dip pen with a rainbow tip. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Ooh, the sticker is really pretty this month. And then what is in this little box? This feels like canvas. This almost feels a little bit like canvas. Are these wooden pens or are they wooden dipping pens? Wow, these are beautiful. Oh, these are gorgeous. Wait, what is this? Is it a brush? It's a brush. Oh my god. Look at that beautiful wood carving with the gold. That is just wow. These may be the prettiest art supplies I have ever seen in a box. Wow. And then what is all here? Hand lettering. Well, I am an artist. I am not good at writing, so I'm going to be doing some drawing. But okay, let's take a look at everything that's in here just so I can actually see what these are. Okay, so we have mandala art, journaling art, then we have SmartArt wooden art and calligraphy pen set, springy brush tip with wood casing, suited for drawing and calligraphy, includes converter so you can use your favorite bottled ink, be loaded with Speedball ink cartridges. So because it is a watercolor ink, it can be re-wetted, which is what I assumed. So I'm gonna have to be very careful with this. I could use it for line art potentially. We have the calligraphy fountain pen. Pen can be loaded with Speedball ink cartridges and use the graphics aqua ink or another bottled ink. Okay, oh, this can't be loaded with it. You're supposed to use that, okay. The one thing I don't like about Speedball is that their stuff isn't waterproof, so I typically don't use this with line art and stuff like that, so I have to be pretty careful. And then the whole theme is everything summer related. Party, adventure, believe in summer. Looks like we have a lot of interesting stuff to get through today. The one thing I am worried about is that this paper is only 80 pounds, which is really, really light for paper, which makes me really worried that we're doing hand lettering because even though it does feel pretty slick, that's not typically what you would want to use for water-based mediums. I prefer to go with more like 140. That's where I'm comfortable when I work with water-based materials, but I guess I'll make it work. Maybe I should do some swatching on one of the pieces of paper just to make sure that everything works out okay before I do anything. I feel like starting out with the paper itself would be best before I move on to the sketchbook. Alright, I think I'll start with the fine liners, just because they'll be the easiest to work with and I can write down what everything is with them. I don't like destroying the packaging, but I have to get them out somehow. Oh, I didn't know they had a little mandala stencil set in the back. Oh, that's cute. I'm saving that. There we go. And open up the next one. Here we go. I'm cracking on into them. Ooh, there's another stencil set back here. 2 stencil sets. Ooh, would you look at that? It's a little shopping cart. That's really cute. Oh, look at that. Little teacup. Oh, these are so cute. There's so many things here. All right, let's move these. Oh boy, where do I even begin? Let's start here. Is a brush tip? No, this is a regular fine liner. Okay, let's write on here 2022 SmartArt box. Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens. And this is the black S. Looks like a standard black fine liner to me. Let's see, we could try the dark blue next. Does it have a color name on it at all? Indanthrine blue? Indanthrine blue. I would expect like phthalo blue or something like that to be the color name, but I guess not. It's a really nice blue though. Like this is a really, really nice like neutral blue. You know how I feel about neutral earthy colors. I love neutral earthy colors. Okay, since we're still on the blues, let's try cobalt green. I like that color. It's like very nice, a very nice medium between the green and the blues. It's also a bit more toned down and a bit more neutral, which I like. Then this one is phthalo green. Oh, this is the brush tip. See that? Yep, B for brush tip. And you can also get super nice tiny fine lines with it. Nice. Then we can try, this is a green brush tip in the color leaf green. And we have the yellow. I'm really excited to see this because this just looks so interesting to me. It's just like highlighter. See, and this is cad yellow in a brush tip. Ooh, very nice yellow. We have the pink in middle purple pink, ironically enough. These are some pretty nice colors we have going on here. Now I gotta put this Faber-Castell textile, this Textiliner 38. Put a little dividing line there just to separate that this is a different material because it literally looks like highlighter. Yeah, this is just a highlighter. This is just an extremely bright highlighter. Do you see how bright this thing is? Jeez, that is electric. That is electrifying. That is neon, and it's very bright. Really pretty, but also really bright. Okay, and then maybe we should try this beautiful rainbow dip pen next. We should probably try the ink anyway. Ooh, it is very bubbly. Let's see how you do. Faber-Castell fountain pen. It's a very fine tip pen, which I like. It's liquid, and then the harder you press, the bigger lines you can get. Normally the ink stays in there for quite a bit. I try one of the little stencils. Try the arrow. Little arrow. There we go. Well, that's cute. I like that. Now I have to try to get this out. Because the rainbow tip is absolutely beautiful. I don't want that to get dirty at all because it is really pretty. Okay, now we need to try one of the wooden fountain pens. It's a dip pen, I believe. Let me see what happens if I stick this in here. It's not very opaque when you use the brush. In fact, it wears out quite quickly. You can get some really interesting textures with it though that I do really like. Get some very interesting dry brush techniques here, which also gives us a gray that we didn't have before. I wonder if I can clean this in my water at all. Okay, got that cleaned. Seems like this is going to be a very interesting video. Oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. Okay, so let me just remove this. They said this paper was supposed to be bleed proof. Lies. I've been doing this little painting series where I have been taking random objects and putting them on top of people in place of regular human heads. It's just this little fun series that I've been doing mostly with gouache. But I do have quite a few here. Like I have this one that's a radio head. I have this one that's a spiral head. I have a telephone head. I have an axolotl bull as a head. And then I have a gumball machine as a head. And you can see, you probably saw me make a couple of these in my last YouTube video that I posted. Probably saw me make a couple of these ones in my last YouTube video if you saw that. But that is a little series that I have been working on. I have been greatly enjoying. So maybe I can use some of these supplies that came in the box to make a couple more that are just pen and ink illustrations. I think that could be pretty fun, especially given how bright this highlighter is. I think there is some pretty cool stuff we could do if we utilize the black ink as a watercolor and then use this to add pops of color and then use the rest of these to do like little shading things, maybe little patterns on the clothing. I think that could be pretty cool, and I already have a couple ideas just based off of this one alone. I'm thinking like maybe we could do a road work ahead sign. I know road work signs are typically orange, but we don't have an orange, so I have to make the best of it, and this yellow could work pretty well as a road work ahead sign. It could work as a wet floor sign. I was thinking maybe we could do like a walkie-talkie head as a sign, as like a police officer or something. I think that could be pretty interesting. Ooh, you know, caution signs are also yellow. Like, I'm thinking of the triangular caution signs, the ones with the little exclamation mark. I'm thinking of the ones that have like the big thing that says caution on it. Caution tape itself is yellow. There's actually a lot of really cool signs that we could do that are yellow. I think I'll probably probably do a combination of several things and try to make like some sort of caution person. I should probably have them in some sort of like imposing stance, I think. Come on, mechanical pencil. Very high chest, puffed out, legs apart as if in a fighting stance. Actually, I think I know exactly which pose I want to do. Shoulders will be slightly tilted like this. And there's the body, facing more towards the front. Then the arm, with a hand in a fist. Like, I want it to look defensive. Something like that. And then I have to decide what sign I want to use. Then I'll cut off the head here. I could use the dead end sign and make them have like caution tape on them as some sort of decoration. That could be cool. Now I just have to figure out how to make a perfect square. I don't happen to have anything that's a perfect square here, do I? I'm going into this very blind, not sketching beforehand, but you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Try 1.5 maybe. Assuming it's from the same angle is the thing. Now it's slightly off center. Oh, that makes me, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It needs to be on center. Okay, went a little too far on that one, so that's about there. I can definitely make it bigger. Let me just sketch more of a size that I would like it to be. Now it's too rounded. See, then I need to make the neck a little bit shorter because it's a little too tall right now. I don't like the neck to connect to the object. I like it to kind of just float there creepily. I think that's just kind of cool. I could put dead end. Well, I guess I am going to be doing some hand lettering after all. And let's see, they have the black ring outside of it right here. And then we can make them have like a turtleneck because I like to give them like something off the shoulders just a little bit. Look at my fashion board real quick just to see what I would like them to wear. I would like to put you in some fun clothes. Oh, I know what I can do. I can give them a really big off-the-shoulder sweater. It comes around to the outside, but it's shorter, so it's like slightly cropped. This big, poofy, bright colored sleeves. I think that's a little too long. The wrist is right here. Just a second. This is the wrist. So that means this has got to be about here. So I can't make it quite as poofy as I would like. I need to figure out the shoulder. Let's see, there's the collarbone. And the shoulder would be about here. Anatomy. Give this character some muscles. Have it wrap around this side too. And more muscle, because we can. Then again, I'd see this character as someone that's pretty intimidating to be around, so let's give them as much muscle as we can. They just hide it under all of this jacket that they're wearing. But what pants to give them? Baggy striped pants, since I'm thinking about it. Let's see, the belt would be about here. I can give them like a multi-layered belt as well. One caution tape belt. We'll give them the second belt. Just lower down. This comes in front. Welcome to my video where I talk to myself for hours on end trying to figure out how physics work. See, I don't think I want their legs to be that wide apart. Maybe change that just a little bit. I almost feel like I need a tattoo or something that says caution on it. I'd give them like a necklace that says caution on it or something. Just a little plate that reads caution. I need to figure out the hands. Middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Really want to be able to see the top of the knuckles. It's not the best. I'll probably have to fix it a little bit. Figuring out hands is hard. It's really hard. I feel like it's not clenched enough. Got a couple clips done for the TikTok, so let's see if I can start doing the line art for this. What I'll do is I'll probably do basic line art at first just to get the idea down. And then after I'm done adding all the color and stuff, I'll go in with one of the thicker brush pens, maybe the wooden ones, and I'll add like extra stuff. Just give it an extra little pop. Make the line art thicker in certain areas, you know. That is something I do like to do with my art that I haven't done in quite a while. There we go. And I usually like to leave the skin tone just a totally pale white. I'll probably end up doing that for this one too. Now I've got to ink the hand. Oh boy. If I mess up on this hand, I am going to scream. Oh, I did it. And it still looks okay. Oh, that was stressful. Give that little pocket there. This is the part that's difficult. This hand. Then we'll see one of the suspenders there. Oh wait, that would be really funny if they were wearing suspenders made out of caution tape. That would be really funny actually. Oh, I wish I could add that back in. No, because that would be really funny. I've already inked this area though. Can't add back something that I've already inked over. I could try sketching it just to see how it looks, because I think the suspenders could be pretty funny. There we go. And just say there's a little fold mark there. Now it's just the pants and the cone. If you can't tell, I'm procrastinating on the sign because I'm really scared of messing up the sign. I mean, I guess for now I could do the outside. It's just the lettering I'm scared of. I don't want to get the lettering wrong because I'm not great at that. Ooh, now I need to figure out the actual lettering because this is not it right now. There we go. That's a lot better. Now if I can only try inking it. Only they had sent stencils for letters. And again, that would kind of take away the point of hand lettering, wouldn't it? Since you're supposed to do it yourself. Come on, A. Stick with me here, body. Jeez. Okay. That's done. That's filled in. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, line art is done. I think what I should do next is I should work on just beginning to paint it. I'll start with the black areas that I know are going to be painted on. See, I know this is supposed to be transparent. Like I was reading through the manual and it said it's supposed to be slightly transparent. So now I know to expect that. Apparently it works. It is a watercolor ink, so it should work exactly like any other watercolor, which means it can be re-wetted and used as a wash. And this is a pretty tiny brush. So we can do some ink paintings with it. I just hope it doesn't destroy the paper all too much because this is only 80-gram paper, so it's not the strongest watercolor paper. I mean, this is only 80-pound paper, so I'm a little worried about how well it's going to take any washes of watercolor, but I'm gonna do my best here, especially since I'm way too scared to try to do a wash of just plain water on top. Way too scared to do that, so I'm going essentially wet on dry, which isn't always great, especially with ink. I can feel the paper eating away. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it at all. The paper is not a fan of my behavior. I could potentially use the blue to shade a little bit. That could work. Like the skin. I could use the blue to shade the white areas potentially. Could try going in with just the yellow highlighter for now to get the caution tape section. Oh, I don't like that the ink seems like it's lifting with this. That's not a great sign. I'm stressing out. It's bleeding. So essentially what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to just go around all of the line art, or wait until the very end of the piece to do line art instead of doing the line art first, because the smudgy look is not my favorite thing. Gotta be honest, not feeling the smudgy look. Not feeling it. Now I gotta do the background with that too. Jeez. It's so bright. It is so outrageously bright. Heck. This is the hard spot. This is the really hard spot. And this is where the anxiety spikes. Alright, no smudging so far. Please don't jinx me. It smudged the tiniest bit. Only the tiniest bit. It's barely noticeable. You know, it's barely noticeable. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Do I want to do? I could do yellow for the skin. Fill this area just with plain yellow. Fill this area in yellow. Just a little triangle there. Tiny shapes. Very tiny shapes. And tiny brush strokes. Thinking maybe I make these parts also be highlighted bright yellow. The hood part, bottom seam, and the pocket of the jacket, just to continue the neon yellow theme. So I think the neon yellow theme could work pretty well. That makes the yellow wrap around quite nicely, almost as if it's framing the character in a way. That's better, except now I've got it black all over it. There we go. That's better. I just don't want it to smudge. Let's see, if I put down a little bit of water, maybe that'll help. I could try the tiniest wash where I go and add a whole bunch of black ink onto here, because maybe it'll travel a little better if I do it this way. Well, I guess if it destroys the paper, it destroys the paper. I have a feeling that's gonna happen either way. See, but hey, that looks a lot better though. That looks a lot better. There we go. Let's give it just a little bit darker there. Yeah, you can really see the paper tearing up. Not a fan of that. Really not. I think it looks pretty cool though. It looks very bold and very striking, and I think we can make it look really good with some time and effort. And I think what I'll do for this area down here is I'll fill in as much as I can with this brush, and then I'll go over it again with either the black ink or maybe black liner and fill out as much as I can, but leave space for the yellow stripes, because I want these pants to be striped. I think that could be pretty cool. I do want to add quite a bit of patterns and variety in there. Leave a little bit of open room for that. Next time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase almost everything, put down the highlighter first, and then do liner because I'm sick of this smudging. I kind of want to add like more caution tape in the back and stuff. At least 2 more banners of caution tape. Okay, that looks a lot more full now. I really like that. There's just more to it now. Okay, now I just gotta wait even longer. I'm really worried about shading this. just because this paper hates it so much. This paper does not like illustrations. Okay, maybe I'll start with just shading the sleeve very lightly, and then I'll go over it with the cross-hatching style like I did for the arms here. I add a darker layer, and then I use the darkest black, which is the Pit Artist pen. Get all those little lines. I wish I was talking more, but I'm concentrating so much that I'm just going silent. I don't like keeping clips of just me being silent in the video. See, but then it's fading, and I don't like that. Like, I get it, this is transparent ink, but I want it to be black. I think the paper is just absorbing it all. I think that's what's happening. The paper even absorbed a lot of it in this first layer, which originally started out quite dark. Tiny marks. Tiny marks. I'm also worried what this is going to do to this area up here. I'm sure this wouldn't happen if I was using other paper. I'm blaming the paper, because I am using paper that I know for a fact is not made for paintings. The description in the manual specifically said this is made for hand lettering, and am I doing hand lettering? No, not really. I'm not really doing that. Okay, I'll live with that. That's fine. It's fine. We're fine. See, there are some spots where it stays dark, but some spots where it doesn't. And then I'm gonna add some extra lines here just to emphasize here's where the folds are, because I feel like they're going to fade quite a bit. Looking at it on camera, it doesn't look that bad. Like, I don't like the way it looks in person all that much. How come it looks better on camera? That's not fair. That is not fair at all. Okay, we are now switching over to voiceover mode, because at this point on, I was still filming. I took all of this in essentially one take. I filmed everything in essentially one day, and during this part of filming, everybody was starting to wake up because I started filming this pretty early in the morning, and people were starting to wake up. Everyone was crowding around the hall, started talking, and so I figured it'd just be better to try to put this into speed paint mode rather than try to talk over it while people were in the hall and could possibly hear me. So for the end of this and for the whole rest of the video, it's going to be mostly just speed paint form. So talking about finishing up the dead end sign, I decided to paint with the ink over the top of the yellow to make the pants look like they had this really cool stripe texture. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to pull it off because I wasn't sure how many layers I could get, because this paper really is not the best quality. Honestly, I'm not really sure why such a low quality paper was sent when we have inks in the box as well. All these other materials would have worked just fine on this paper, but the ink itself is just so nice in comparison to the paper that the paper just gets destroyed the moment you use the ink on it. I'm pretty sure even if you were doing any sort of hand lettering with it, that it would still tear up like this. It's just not a great paper. I really don't like it all that much. I wanted to switch. I wanted to use a different piece of paper for all the future ones, but I figured that was kind of going outside the bounds of what was in the box, even though it would have turned out better. I kind of wish I had switched to a different paper. I feel like it would have been better in the end, but I stuck with it, and I think I managed to pull it together to look manageable. I think it looks decent in its own way. I think the only other note I have left to leave on this piece before I finish it and move on to the next one is just a little note about the Fineliners. The black Fineliner was a little bit transparent, and I feel like it didn't dry as fast as the others did. I had some issues with it smudging when I was doing stuff, so in the later drawings, I go in and I do all the colors first and then the line art. I learned my lesson. It was a pretty easy fix. Since so far I'd only used the yellow liner, the highlighter, and the ink, I decided to try out the other liners because I have a couple different brush tips and fine liners that are colorful that I hadn't used yet. Even though I really like the yellow palette with all the brights and the blacks with the black and the yellow, I just really like that. I like black and yellow a lot. I did realize, okay, I need to make something using these other supplies, using these other fine liners. And so what I decided to do is I decided to do a Polaroid camera head using the bluish green. I think this was the phthalo green. That's either the leaf green or it might be the phthalo green. I'm not totally sure. I used that as the color for the Polaroid, and then I went in and I used complementary colors. I used the navy blue as a darker tone to provide some shading and some minimal line art in there, and then I also used the pink fine liner to go in and color stuff in because green and pink work really well together. I added some stripes. I was just pretty loose with this one, just experimenting with color, trying to make some use of all the materials that came in the box, because I feel like sometimes I don't use all the materials that I'm given. This one I did really want to try to utilize everything that came in the box. I never ended up using the dipping pen though, just because I knew for a fact the ink was in fact not water resistant, and I didn't want to use that for line arts. Having with me doing so much already, I just didn't want to risk it. And I also know that I was also guessing that due to the weakness of this paper, due to it being a very light paper, one that doesn't have a lot of pounds to it, I figured it might be a little bit risky to try to use the dip pen because I am very heavy-handed. I was very worried about ripping the paper, so I just decided decided to not do that for this one, but I did utilize basically everything else in the box. I even got to try out a little bit of the stencils and ended up putting a stencil on the shirt. I also don't know if this is just me not doing this correctly or if it's something with the ink, but I could not really get this ink to get toned down at all. Even though it's a transparent ink, I felt like I couldn't water it down to make it lighter at all. So the entire time I was painting this character, I felt, the shading's a little bit too dark here. I wish I could make it lighter. There's even a couple areas I went over again with water just to try to tone it down, and it did nothing. I'm not sure why the ink acts like that, especially since it's a transparent ink, but I was definitely struggling there for a good portion of the time. So I do believe that is the end of this part for this drawing. I feel like the little Polaroid camera head person is pretty cute. I like him. I like him a lot. Okay, I have these two done. I really like the camera one. I think the camera one turned out pretty nice. I think it's pretty cute, very different colors from this one. But I think I'm gonna do one more, and I want to stick with this theme. Like, I like doing the cute with the greenish blue and the pink. I think it looks pretty cute, but this one really challenges me. This one with the super bright yellow and the blacks, there's just something very different about it. It's very intense. It just pops. It gets you to notice it. This is the one that I would look at first if I was looking at these, and I like this one a lot, and I want to do something similar again. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another one just like this, with a different outfit, different pose, and I want to do that one triangular yellow sign with the exclamation mark on it. I'm gonna figure out what that sign means. I'm gonna try to make a person with that sign as the head, because I think that could be pretty cool, especially with these colors. Especially since I found out now I can shade on top of the yellow with the ink, which I think is pretty cool. That is the plan for the next and the final piece for this video. So yes, for the very last drawing in this video, I'm doing a combination of a whole bunch of the supplies that came in the box, though mostly the same as the first one, because I'm doing another road sign that is bright yellow, and that is the caution sign. The sign has a lot of uses. I've seen it used in cars before, I've seen it used on roads, and the caution sign can really mean anything really. I've seen it used for a variety of purposes. I've seen it warning about bends and curves on the road. I've seen it warning about rock, warning you in case of a rock slide or an avalanche or something like that. I've seen warning signs for like slick roads that flood. There's just a lot of uses for this sign, but either way, I feel like it provides a nice defensive touch. When I made this piece, I thought I really want to make this character look defensive, like they're trying to stop you, warn you, because that's what they are. They're a cautionary sign. I feel like their personality needed to reflect that quite well. I was also trying to go for more of like a construction worker aesthetic, still with hints of like fashion and style to it though. So there was some stuff there that I specifically did purposefully give like workplace vibes, like construction work vibes. Originally I was thinking of doing like a full construction vest, but I was like, you know what, I still want to keep the fashion-y touches, so I made it like somewhat construction work vibes, but more so fashion. But look, I already shared this on Instagram, I already shared it on TikTok, I've already gotten so many comments about this one thing that I'm about to say, and I'm just gonna say, I agree with you. And here it is. Yeah, this does give me Bill Cipher vibes.
This party never stops! Time is dead and meaning has no meaning! Oh wow, that's a great offer! How about instead I shuffle the functions of every hole in your face?
Oh, I know lots of things.
You're insane!
Sure I am. What's your point?
I completely 100% agree with you. I wasn't going for that. I didn't even think of that when I was making it. Even though I do love Gravity Falls, I never even thought of it. And now that you guys have made the comparison, I completely agree, and that makes me like this piece even more now. I feel like this one took the longest out of the three, and I think that's because this is the one that I feel like I cared the most about. Don't get me wrong, I did care about the other two, but this one, more than ever, I was like, this one needs to be perfect. Because I felt like there was some stuff that was a little bit lacking on the dead end sign. I feel like I made the sign a little bit too big. I didn't like how I shaded the darker yellow onto it. I think that was a really poor choice. It would have looked better without it. I was being very, very clear and intentional in what I was doing. I was making sure that I wasn't doing anything I didn't want to. I wanted this to look absolutely perfect. I spent as much time as I could with it. I also added a more detailed background onto this one, so that also took a bit longer. Figuring out this position with the hand and foreshortening was also a bit harder. It took me a little bit longer to paint this one because I went back and I used the exact same technique of layering the ink over the yellow fineliner to get more of like this dark yellow and brighter yellow stripe texture over these overalls. And I think it ties the two together nicely. You really get the vibe that the dead end sign and the caution sign are in the same world, inside the same story, whatever's going on with them. Maybe they're buddies, maybe they're friends, I don't know. Maybe they're related. Whatever they are, they exist in the same reality. And then Polaroid camera person is just having fun in their own area. They're just doing their own thing. And finally, I guess to wrap this all up, I'll just point out I gave this character fishnet tights. Because why not? Why not at this point? I have the power, I have the ability, so I did. And they're there now. That's essentially it. Those are the 3 pieces that I made with this box, and I'll be showing them again in just a minute as I finish up this one here. Okay, here we go. Here's everything I made with the June SmartArt supplies that came in the box. 3 different pieces using a combination of mixed media, fine liners, and ink. And I think they all turned out pretty well. Obviously we have the dead end sign and the caution sign, which are very similar to one another. And then we have the little Polaroid camera head character. I think the caution sign is a big step up from the dead end sign, thinking that the dead end was the first and the caution sign the last. There's definitely some stuff that I learned about this one. Definitely not to do any outlines around these, because I did use a black outline on the outside of the dead end one and I really didn't like the way it looked, so I'm glad I didn't do that in the second one with the caution, and I didn't do it with the Polaroid camera either. I feel like there's a lot more cleanliness in the caution one. I feel like my lines are a lot clearer, everything's a lot less muddy. I used proper techniques with this one. I allowed myself to do a wash of water before I went in with the ink, which I think helped quite a lot because I didn't do that originally with the first one, and I think it caused a lot of issues. Even though this paper is not the strongest for that, I think the wash did help. The supplies themselves I think these fine liners work really, really well. The brush tips are really nice, they're really strong, they're really solid, they clearly have a lot of ink in them, even though they do smudge a little bit, especially the black ones, so I do have to be kind of careful around there. But overall, they're pretty good fine liners. Again, I never ended up using the dip pen, the fountain pen with any of this. I did use the brush pens though. The brush pens are incredible. I love them. They're beautiful and they work amazingly. They're so nice. But I think I'm gonna call it. I think this is the end of the video. Once again, huge thank you to SmartArt for sending me these boxes totally for free just to open and try out and make art with. It's a blast working with them, and this box was fun as always, and I made some really cool stuff with it, so I'm pretty happy with it. Again, all of their links are going to be in the description of this video along with all of mine. If you're interested in any of these, I'll probably put the caution one up in my Redbubble shop if anyone likes that one. Maybe I'll put up the Polaroid too, perhaps, maybe. And don't forget, you can always like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a lovely morning, day, evening, whatever it is for you, and I'll see you in the next one.
I wanna be